It's got political intrigue. It's got romance. It's got Melanie dressing up as a man and traveling to Khotan to visit Hahnemann. To be honest, I'm surprised that no one has ever thought to make such a film before because it's got every element you would want for a huge Hollywood blockbuster film. But somehow Gandhi was selecting homeopathy over Ayurveda, and I was astounded.
Hello, dear friends, homeopaths. This is Barbara Liberowicz, Homeo Sapiens, and my guest today is Kim Elia.
Thank you, Barbara. It's my pleasure to be here with you.
I know you are a recognized homeopath with great experience, but today we want to focus on something else. Could you please tell us about your homeopathic background first? How this crazy idea to have homeopathic movie started?
Okay. Well, in terms of my background, I was the director of nutrition at Hartwood Institute in Northern California, and I was working with many individuals through nutritional suggestions. And I was looking for some other type of therapeutic modality to help my clients. And I came across a book by Maisie Panos on the homeopathic treatment of acute and first aid conditions. And on the back of that book was a quote by Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with the quote where it says that homeopathy cures a larger percentage of cases and it's the most effective system of medicine. And I thought, wow, this is amazing because I knew that Gandhi had wanted the people of the Indian subcontinent to have pride in their own cultural accomplishments, and they had this healing system called Ayurveda, but somehow Gandhi was selecting homeopathy over Ayurveda, and I was astounded. So I brought the book home, I began to read it, and I had a lot of patients that I was working with nutritionally, so I began to administer remedies, and I saw remarkable results. And probably the most remarkable early result that I saw was I was visiting with my parents in Geneva, Switzerland, and my mom was this very bitter, angry, unforgiving individual. My father was fed up with her. He wanted to get a divorce. And I was reading through a book called The Stolen Essences of George Vithoulkas. And I got to the remedy nitricum acidum, which is characterized by the three P's: pissed off, pessimistic, and a pest. It was as if George Vithoulkas personally knew my mom and was simply describing her in the book. And so I went up to my mom and I asked her a few confirmatory questions, like, how do you feel about herring? Not Constantine herring, but pickled herring. And she said, oh, I love it. And so I gave her nitric acid 6C 4 times a day. I wouldn't do that right now because of aphorism 247 of the Organon, but I didn't know about that aphorism at that time. So I gave her nitric acid 6C 4 times a day, and she went through a miraculous transformation. She went from being this bitter, angry, unforgiving, impossible human being to someone who was literally singing and dancing around the house. And my dad came up and he said, I don't know what you've done, but I support you now 100%. And it was my first of the really profound experiences in homeopathy. And since that time, homeopathy has, I've taught all over the world. I ran a 4-year homeopathy program in Japan. I've taught in Central America and China, all over Europe. I've taught pretty much everywhere. I have an online platform that provides over thousands of hours of homeopathic education. But I felt that homeopathy has given me back so much in my own life that I wanted to give something back to our profession and really to the whole world community because homeopathy has so much to offer every living being on this planet. There are so many health issues that we do not have answers for in the conventional medical system that homeopathy does have options for. And so I thought it's my ability, my talent, to use my talent and to use that to do the best that I can to let the world know about homeopathy.
So I'm very curious about this crazy idea to make movie on homeopathy.
I've been wanting to make a documentary film for a very long period of time, like pretty much my whole life. I've been wanting to do that, but I don't have the requisite skills to make a film. I'm not a filmmaker. I don't know how to operate cameras, things. I'm a homeopath. But I came across this young man by the name of Julian Sheridan McKenna. He had made some short videos for us for the Global Natural Health Solutions telehealth platform, and he did a really, really good job. And I realized that he did have those skills. And as I mentioned before, his father was an acupuncturist, so he was very sympathetic to natural and energetic medicine. And so we got together and we started working on it because I really wanted to give something back to the homeopathic community. Homeopathy has given me so much in my own personal life that I thought I really should try to do whatever I can to spread the word about all the things that homeopathy has to offer. And so that really was the impetus for the creation of Introducing Homeopathy.
Where people can learn more about the movie, where can they see the movie, and where can they learn about your activities?
So I have a number of different websites. For the film, you would go to introducinghomeopathy.com. And on that website, you'll see all kinds of media clips and information. People can make donations to support the Investigating Homeopathy project that we're currently working on, but they can also rent or purchase the film. You can purchase the film for $14.95 US dollars, or you can rent it for $4.95. If you purchase it, then you own it outright and you can watch it as many times as you want. You can have house parties, people can come over and watch the film together. When we made the film, our original intention was to make a film for Netflix. There had been other films that had been made about homeopathy that use this more polarizing approach where you have skeptics and advocates of homeopathy
Mhm.
arguing and each one presenting their particular point of view. And we didn't want to do that because we felt that Big Pharma already has enough of a voice out there. Here in the United States, there are commercials all the time from Big Pharma commercials promoting pharmaceutical products. And so we didn't feel that we needed to give them a voice in our film. And so we essentially made a film that just talks about all the amazing benefits that homeopathy has to offer. And that was it. But we realized at a certain point that that wasn't really the correct platform for Netflix that wants this kind of polarity and dynamic tension,
Mhm.
people advocating and skeptics, fighting with each other. And so instead, we decided to make the film available through Children's Health Defense, and they screened it a number of times. We also did a number of private screenings, and it's been seen now by over 500,000 people. It's been translated into 12 different languages, and
Wow.
but we still wanted to make a film that we could put onto Netflix. So now we're working on a pilot for Netflix. It'll run about 50 minutes as opposed to the 2-hour documentary that we made previously. And the focus really is now on looking at, the skeptics versus the advocates, all the reasons that homeopathy perhaps should not be investigated, and all of the reasons that homeopathy should be investigated. And I can tell you the list of reasons that it should be investigated is significantly longer than the list of reasons why it shouldn't be investigated. And so we're working on that right now. We have a focus group of about 20 different individuals who meet on a weekly basis. And we are going to show that particular film at the Joint American Homeopathic Conference on April 17th. It'll be only available for people who are actually attending that particular conference. They'll have an opportunity to give us feedback about the pilot. And once we've fine-tuned it so that we think it's really perfect, we're going to submit it to Netflix, and we want them to fund a 10-part series entitled Investigating Homeopathy, which explores all of the various facets of what homeopathy has to offer. And we're fairly confident that we can get Netflix to fund this project, because there's millions of people around the world who employ homeopathy. There's thousands of doctors who use homeopathy in their practices. Not just here in North America and Europe, but in India and Southwest Asia, really all over the world. And so there's going to be a lot of interest in such a documentary series, 10-part series. Plus, there is a bill now in the House of Representatives here in the United States to protect homeopathic medicines. So it's a very topical issue as well. So we're very, very confident about this. We also have an attorney who's negotiated many deals with Netflix. And you can imagine if we have a 10-part series, an entire season of 50-minute episodes talking about homeopathy, the impact that that will have on the general perception of homeopathy around the globe. And this is what we're trying to achieve. I'm also working simultaneously on a Hollywood blockbuster film about Hahnemann's life. I'm working with two ladies. One has already written one screenplay about Hahnemann's life, and the other woman wrote 3 screenplays. And we also meet on a weekly basis, and we discuss in very fine detail all of the elements of Samuel Hahnemann's life and also his wife Melanie Hahnemann's life. And it's a remarkable story. I mean, it has all of the things that you would want for a Hollywood blockbuster film. It's got political intrigue, it's got romance, it's got Melanie dressing up as a man and traveling to Khotan to visit Hahnemann. The film actually opens at Hahnemann's bedside, and he's passing on, and Melanie is by his side, and he's giving her the injunction to carry on and keep practicing homeopathy. And she says, well, how can I do that? I'm just a woman. I don't have a medical license. They'll vilify me. And he says, it doesn't matter. You need to keep on carrying the good work of homeopathy. And then in the next scene, it's around the Christmas season. And there's a young girl, a poor young girl, running through the streets of Paris, banging on doors. Melanie's on trial. Melanie's on trial. And so then the film would then move to the courtroom where you would see Melanie being interrogated, who then being questioned about uh, Hahnemann's integrity, homeopathy's validity, her own integrity. And this would allow us, in the context of a courtroom, to actually go back and explore the whole development of homeopathy, Hahnemann's early childhood, Melanie's traveling to Khotin to meet him, and really every other facet. And it's just an amazing, amazing story. To be honest, I'm surprised that no one has ever thought to make such a film before, because it's got every element you would want for a huge Hollywood blockbuster film. And then I also have other websites. I have the wholehealthnow.com website, WHOLE healthnow.com. And on that website, you'll see all kinds of interviews with homeopaths. There's lots of free resources. There's a history of homeopathy timeline. There's all kinds of really important articles about homeopathy, like the Medical Observer article that Hahnemann wrote, or the very seminal article on the study of materia medica by Constantine Herring. So it's a really rich resource.
I don't think this website is complete because I was looking for YouTube resources on your website and I haven't seen Homeo Sapiens YouTube channel.
Oh, well, you have to send us the information and we'll post it. We're always adding new information on there. So if you've
Yes,
got if you've
yes,
got some new ones to
exactly,
add, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's that website's got thousands and thousands of pages. It's very difficult to keep up to date.
What is your message to Homeo Sapiens audience on our YouTube platform?
Well, that, we should take whatever talents we have and do whatever good work we can to make this a better world for this generation and for future generations. And homeopathy has a big part to play in all of that, because it's a renaissance system of medicine based on a universal principle of nature. And it's as old as the hills. And when applied correctly, it works fantastically.